Dear children, today as part 2 video of sound lesson, we are going to see how sound is propagating. Okay, for that I am starting with a small activity for which explanation I will say during the class. Okay, first now I have an apparatus in my hand. This apparatus is called as tuning fork. This picture you can see in your textbook also. Right, so this is called as tuning fork. This will have a stem here and it will have one U-shaped frame, metallic frame here, and this is one hammer, a rubber hammer. Okay, now if I touch it, you just to see explanations, we will proceed in the class. Okay, right, now I have a steel scale here. Right, now I am hitting the hammer on the tuning fork. Now can you get the sound? What you are getting? See, now I am having a steel scale. Can you see it? Right, now I am just hitting the hammer. Now you see it. Can you get that sound? Now I bring the vibration here to closer to you. If possible, you try to hear that vibrating sound inside that tuning fork, right? So now I will meet you in the class. Thank you. Hello children. Now we are proceeding to our video, right? Which is a part 2 of the lesson sound. In that, today we are going to see about how sound is traveling in the medium and what is the mechanical wave and its types and what are the characteristics of wave motion and how do astronauts communicate in space or in other planets, right? What are seismic waves and what are the properties of sound. So that is what we are going to see today, right? First, how sound will travel. In the previous class, I have told you sound travels in the form of vibrations, right? Now also I have seen that the vibration which I produced through a tuning fork on a scale, that only produces sound. Yes? So vibration in a body produces sound. So in the previous video also I have told you, if on our throat if you touch and see when we talk, right, we can feel that a vocal cord over here will vibrate. You speak some words and just touch over here, we can feel some organ is vibrating here. So what I am trying to say over here is vibration of bodies only will produce sound. So this vibration, for example, now I am talking, through vibration sound is produced by my body. Right. Now this area is surrounded by air particles. Okay. Now this sound comes out as a wave. Right, wave, W-A-V-E. Now this is traveling. Now the air particle here, very near to me, will get vibration due to my sound wave coming out. Right. So this air particle vibrating, no. This vibration will pass to the next air particle. Then that vibration will proceed to the next air particle. Like this vibration displaces force, displaces just from one place to another place, this vibration will displace by producing a force on the next particle. Next particle is called as your adjacent particle and this process continues. Right? So sound is produced by me, the air very near to me gets vibrated and once a force is created and that force proceeds till it reaches that particular observer. Here the camera where through which I am talking to you, right? So this is how sound travels, right? So in the form of waves. The waves I am saying here to children, this wave is called as mechanical wave. What is that? Mechanical wave. First let us see the definition of mechanical wave. It is a repeated periodic motion of the particles in a medium. So I told you now children. Now the sound is produced. It is just making the air over here to vibrate and that vibration, what does it mean? A wave will from the mean, from the standard position, what will happen? It will move like this. So from the standard, that standard position is called as mean position. So it will go up and come down, go up, come down, like that. It is repeatedly happening. So that is repeated periodic motion of the particles. Okay, so that is called as mechanical wave. In a mechanical wave, see here. Now I am talking, right? Here the air particle from one air particle sends its energy to the next air particle, and it is not very clear in this point understanding, right? One air particle is transferring its energy to the next air particle. That particle itself doesn't move. I'll tell you a real-time example, right? Now we are forming like a chain with our friends, right? Now one friend is just clapping on our hand, one hand like this, and now I am clapping on my another friend, right? Now this is one energy alone is getting transferred, right? So one friend will clap on my hand, and I will be clapping another friend, and that friend will be clapping another friend. Like this it will continue, and it is just a transfer of energy, and not I am not going and hitting on my friend. So that is not getting continued to the other. Only the energy alone, I am standing here, and the energy alone is getting transferred. Can you get this point, children? So in a mechanical wave production, only energy is transferred when it is traveling like this. Now I produced this wave motion, a vibration using this tuning fork, children. You can see this page number 63. You can have that tuning fork diagram, right? And next to the tuning fork diagram, I will come to the close up, right? Now you can see this tuning fork diagram here, and you can have a set of pattern of vibrations produced here, right? So here some vibrations are very closer, some vibrations are little apart, having a distance, right? This closer part is called as C over here, that is called compression, and the rare part which are very apart, which have space in between, they are called rarefaction. Can you understand that? It is denoted like C and R there. Okay, now that C factor, compression, that C region. So now I made the tuning fork to produce vibrations on the scale, right? So now that vibration will be produced in the form of waves. That waves will travel in the form of compressions and rarefactions. See children, it is rarefaction. See the spelling over there? R-A-R-E-F-A-C. It is not F-R-A-C. So keep concentrated on that. Usually students will make spelling mistake over here. It is compression and rarefaction, not fraction. Okay. Compression is denoted by letter C and rarefaction is denoted by letter R. Okay. Compression, as the particles are very closer, area is lesser. What is the relationship between area and pressure? P is equal to F by A. Those who learn force and pressure lesson can recollect now. If area is less, pressure will be more. So here you can see that same diagram in your book, page number 63. Compression will have less area, so pressure will be more in the area of compression. In rarefaction, what is that? Area will be more, so pressure will be less. So very important point, need test oriented point, note it down. Right. Now we have to see about characteristics of wave motion. So when sound is produced or any wave is produced, that wave will have some characteristics, some properties. So that is what we are seeing here. First one, in a wave motion, when a wave is produced, right? So like what I said now, sound is traveling here. That sound energy will travel through that medium, air particle, and energy will be transferred. Sound energy is transferred by the air particles. It is just like one load taken by a boat. That boat is here air particles, right? Load is the energy, right? Right. Now energy alone is transferred and not the material itself. The particle itself cannot get transferred. Energy alone is transferred. Okay. Now here, velocity of wave and velocity of vibrating particle are different. Now you see, this is another content. Velocity of wave. See. This is vibrating particle. Now if I am talking, right, what is the wave sound? What is the wave produced here? It is sound wave. What is the vibrating particle? It is the air medium. Air particles here. So sound wave's velocity and the air particles velocity they too will have different velocities. So velocity of wave and velocity of vibrating particle are different. They are not one and the same. It is just like, what is that? Here vibrating particle is just like a boat, right? Wave is the thing which is just like a load carried on a boat, right? So that is what the explanation over there. Now the last one is, for propagation, medium must possess inertia, elasticity, uniform density and minimum friction. So these are the important characteristics. Inertia means you know very well. What is inertia? It is the inability of a particle to change its state, right? So it should immediately, the state should not be changed, right? And elasticity means what? Elasticity means there should be some enough space for the energy to travel. Next one, density must be uniform. The density should not be different. Okay. Next one, it should have minimum friction. Minimum friction alone can help the sound wave to travel from one point to another. So these are the characteristics. See, for this explanation, you can just go through your first lesson and listen to it. Explain to it, right? You can get the meaning from the first lesson. And elasticity you have in the force, pressure and friction lesson, right? Next one, how do astronauts communicate in the space or in other planets? Astronaut, you know very well, in space there will not be any medium or in moon, okay? But the sound needs a medium to travel. We learned in the Bilger experiment. But in the space and the moon there won't be any medium. Then how do astronauts communicate? First tell me, who are astronauts? The people who will travel for what is that? Celestial researches, right? For space or moon, for other planets. So they are the people who are called as astronauts. Now see, sound wave, they can produce the sound, but it cannot travel because there is no medium in the space or the moon. So for that, what they will do, they will wear one helmet. Okay, on that helmet an antenna like thing, not like one, what is that, long rod like antenna. It is just like one transmitter and receiver will be there on your helmet. So the sound what they produce will be converted into radio waves. Right? It is a type of a wave like sound wave. Right? What we receive through our radio and TV. Right? So it will be converted to radio waves. Right? And that radio waves will be received by the antenna over there in the opposite receiver. Okay. So now first they will wear an helmet. Right? On that helmet there will be a transmitter and receiver. So the one who talks will transmit the sound through that antenna, and the other one who is listening will receive through that receiver after converting it into the radio waves. Okay. So a big process, no? So for a person, if a person talks in a moon or a space, I have to wait. Now I am talking here, immediately you are hearing it, right? Like that it won't happen. The person has to talk and he has to wait till it is converted into radio wave and it reaches the other person. Right? So it will take a time. Right? So that is what, how do astronauts communicate. Next one, what are transverse waves and what are longitudinal waves? Now I told you mechanical waves, no children, that mechanical waves are divided into two types. One is transverse wave, another one is longitudinal wave. Right? What is transverse wave and what is longitudinal wave? First I will explain that first the meaning. Have you ever played this game, children? Right? Throwing a stone on a pool of water, a stagnant water. What will happen? Some round formations will be happening over there. Have you ever seen it? Right? Have you ever seen the play this game? No? One, what is that? One sweet will be there in center. Right? One chocolate like candy will be there at the center. It will be tied in a thread. Right? And it will be doing like this, and usually we play it with soda cups. Right? One hole will be made inside the center, at the center. Right? Through that thread will be sent. And when we play it, what is that? When we just stretch it and do like this, right? Some waves will be formed. Have you ever played with children? Right. Now the force we will give like this in this direction. Right, in that string. Right. Now what will happen? The waves will go like this. Like that same format, when we throw a stone, ripples will be formed. Right. Now throwing the stone will be in this direction. Right. Direction of production of sound. So the wave particles here, particles of the medium vibrate perpendicularly to the direction of propagation. See very clearly, particles of the medium. Now I am just see this wave. I am throwing a stone. It is just like particles of the medium. Now ripples will be formed in this direction. Right? Like it will be like a right angle direction. Now this will be your direction of propagation, or this will be your direction of propagation. Now how the ripples will be formed? In the up and down direction. Like this same your string. Now when I do the string like this, when I stretch it, what will happen? That string will vibrate like this. Right? So they are the examples for transverse wave. What example? Now what is the meaning? If the particles of the medium vibrate perpendicularly, this is the main word, perpendicularly. Perpendicular means what? Making an angle of 90 degree. To what? To the direction of propagation. Direction of propagation means what? Traveling direction. Then that type of waves are called as transverse waves. Okay, one diagram is given at your page 63, right hand side. You can just see it as an example, explanatory diagram. Okay, next one, this will be produced in strings, as I said now. Light wave is a transverse wave. Okay, that you will learn in your higher class how it is a transverse wave, and it will be produced only in solids and liquids. So this is very important point. Okay, longitudinal transverse waves will be produced in solids and liquids. Next we are moving to longitudinal wave. What are longitudinal waves? Here I said it is perpendicularly. The same happens here but parallel to each other. Parallel means what? Have you ever played this balloon game, children? One balloon in festivals and we will use it. One balloon fixed with one string, elastic string. We will play like this. Have you ever watched it? Have you ever experienced it? In that balloon, we will produce the force in this direction. The balloon also will go and come in this direction. That means what? Direction of production and direction of propagation are in the same direction, or they are parallel to each other. Parallel means they are same in direction, right? So this is what a diagrammatic arrow mark explanation, same direction, right? So particles of the medium vibrate parallel to the direction of propagation. Perpendicular means transverse, parallel means longitudinal. Clear? Right. Where we can produce this longitudinal waves? We can see that waves in strings. Just now I told you a balloon. The same thing you can see in string system. What ordinary your pen, what you use like this, no? You will have a spring attachment inside your refill pens, right? So when you press this, in that same direction, that refill will move. So that is also a longitudinal wave motion. Right? Then sound wave is a longitudinal wave, and this longitudinal wave is produced in solids, liquids and gases. Remember, light wave is a transverse wave, sound wave is a longitudinal wave. And transverse waves are produced only in solids and liquids. Longitudinal waves are produced in solids, liquids and gases. Okay. Next topic is seismic wave. Say the word seismic wave. Some of the people will say seismic. Right? Whichever is convenient for you, you pronounce like that. Right? What are seismic waves? These are the waves formed during earthquakes. When tsunami comes, right? Earthquake comes. Some waves will be formed on the earth's surface. That waves are called as seismic waves. And it is form of a longitudinal wave, and it will be formed during explosions, earthquakes, volcanic explosions. Volcanic explosions, you know, when a volcano explodes, right? Volcano means what? In Tamil we say to be Erimalai, right? Next one. Then these seismic waves, how we can identify? Why before it comes we cannot identify. But before it comes, after it comes, we can measure it through hydrophone or seismometer. Say the words, underline those words in your book. Right? It is there at your page number 64. Do you know? Under that box, you will have this content. Seismic waves can be detected by hydrophone and seismometer. And seismometer is some otherwise called as seismograph. Say, write that word, it is not in your book. It is seismograph. And when we study about the scientists who study about this earthquake and formation of seismic waves, that study is called as seismology. Say the word seismology. And logy is called as study, geology, zoology. Right? So it is logy. That word means study. It is a study. Okay. Next one, we are going to see about very important 5-mark question. Properties of sound. What's the sound we produce will have 3 properties and one additional property you have that we are going to see now. The last topic, the loudness. What is loudness? See, I am talking here. It is the property which enables between a feeble sound. Feeble sound means what? A weaker sound, a very normal sound. For example, right? Now I am talking to you in a louder way, right? But if you are here, there inside the class, this much louder, I cannot talk with you, right? And otherwise, you can talk drum sound, right? And ordinary tapping sound. So they both are different. The tapping sound on the table is feeble, weak, but the drum sound will be heavy. So which will be louder? Drum sound is louder, right? So loudness is a property which differentiates the weak sound and the feeble sound. Weak sound or the louder sound, strong sound, right? Next one we have pitch. Pitch refers to the shrillness of the voice. Shrillness means what? Some sound will be very, what is that? Thinner in its outcome, right? I will tell you a female's voice when compared with male's voice. Boys and girls' voice, right? Girls' voice will be very thinner, shriller, S-H-R-I-L-L-E-R. Okay, that shrillness refers to the pitch. More shriller sound goes for high frequency, high pitch, right? That means what? Male's voice will be having less pitch than the female's voice. Okay, right now example, drum sound and violin sound. Which will be more shriller? Violin sound is shriller. So violin will have high pitch sound, right? So like even in the sound, for example, my sound and the singer Janaki's voice. Do you know about the singer Janaki's voice? Right? So identify her voice. For you, Shreya Ghoshal's voice, compare my sound with their sound. Quite tough only, but anyhow, my sound will be little thicker, right? Though female sounds are having high pitch, more shrillness, in that shrillness itself we can differentiate, right? So my shrillness will be little, my sound will be little flatter, and Shreya Ghoshal's voice will be little shriller. So she will be having higher pitch, and I will be having a low pitch, right? So examples are given over here. Underline that examples. Through that examples, many questions can be asked. High pitch sound, violin, bell sound, the female's voice. Less shriller will have low pitch, male's voice. A roar of a lion, lion sound will have low pitch. Okay. Now quality or timbre. It is the factor which distinguishes between same pitch and amplitude. For example, right now your teacher's voice or your relative's voice, right? Even though you don't see their face, you can easily identify whose voice is that, right? Sometimes your friends may be calling you without telling the name, they just call, and just the moment you hear their voice, you can identify who is talking on the other end. So one quality, one characteristic of sound which will enable you to differentiate between the sound, right? So sound coming from a violin, sound coming from a guitar, all are music only, but you can identify which is violin sound, which is flute sound, which is guitar sound, right? So that quality which differentiates between every factor, it is called quality or timbre. Timbre spelling you can see that T-I-M-B-R-E. R-E. So don't write the spelling as T-M-B-E-R. It is not. As you are writing B-R-E, don't read that as timbre. It is timber only, but spelling is T-I-M-B-R-E. Okay. Right. Next one we are going to see about amplitude, the last concept. See, when a wave is produced, right? Now this is your mean position. Mean position means between position, center position or rest position. From this wave is produced, right? Now one wave is going to be produced. Now see here. Now like this it is going to be produced. Now this is your mean position. How much distance the wave can move? This much distance. So this distance from that mean, the maximum displacement of a wave from the mean position, that is called as amplitude. Okay children, so what are the characteristics of sound? Number 1, loudness. Number 2, pitch. Number 3, quality or timbre. And one final point I need to tell you, this loudness will measure amplitude. Right? Now if the amplitude is more, if this is going to the mean position, if the wave move like this, the sound will be louder. And if the wave moves like this, sound will be shriller. So amplitude refers to what? Loudness. Pitch refers to frequency. Frequency I explained you before. Pitch refers to frequency. This point also you should know. So complete the notes. We will meet in the class. Thank you children.